Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened, and you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about President Trump's highly anticipated RNC Republican nomination acceptance speech that I did live stream last night, and I thought that it was a very classic, solid speech from Trump that really is some of the same that we've seen out of President Trump. It was one of his typical speeches that he would give at one of his rallies. However, I believe that the beginning of the speech was probably the most endearing part of the speech because Trump had to reflect on the failed assassination attempt on his life. Okay, when he talked about how painful it was to talk about it, right? I really felt that, okay, because he was inches, probably less than inches, away from having his life taken away from him by some lunatic who's probably some far leftist. Who knows, okay? But regardless, he's still alive, and he gave that speech. There was also a moment where he kissed the uniform of the fallen hero, Corey Compatore, who died protecting his family during the failed assassination attempt. He kissed the helmet, I believe, on stage. That was a very good moment as well, too. I thought that the first 30 minutes of the speech were probably the most fascinating part of the speech. I also thought there were other high moments of the speech where Trump talked about policies like, for example, no tax on tips, that I think is an excellent policy that the GOP should be leading with if they really want to get voters on board. It's a great way to help people out without giving them a government handout, which I love, right? This is the type of policy that we should see from the GOP more often. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid, classic Trump speech. However, of course, the mainstream liberal media didn't like it very much.
To paraphrase Eric Killmonger, MAGA, is this your king? If Joe Biden had given a rambling, shambling, all over the place speech like that, elected Democrats would be demanding that the 25th Amendment be invoked immediately. They would scramble, even worse than they are now, to jettison him as the candidate for president, and we would be questioning his mental acuity. Donald Trump went off that script for more than half of it. We had this text in front of us. He clearly was bored by the text and then became an old vaudevillian who much preferred his old shtick and was therefore reciting the shtick to the Daners. That was proof that there's not just one old man in the race. Donald Trump is an old man, clearly in decline. And we must start talking about him the same way that we are questioning Joe Biden, because Donald Trump cannot stay on message for even 5 to 10 minutes, even telling a story about the most traumatic moments of his life.
Yeah, so according to Joy Reid, Trump deciding to tell personal stories or to not stick to the script during a speech is evidence of cognitive decline, like what's happening with Joe Biden. Again, this is probably the second worst or third worst take, really, that Joy Reid has put out there this week. only behind her conspiracy that Trump wasn't actually really shot. And Biden getting COVID is somehow the equivalent of Trump being shot at. Okay, if Biden survives COVID, then we should give Biden the same credit that we gave Trump for taking a bullet and surviving an assassination attempt. Yeah, so full-blown delusion on MSNBC, okay? And the reason why you know this is because when you actually talk to normal, regular folks, they don't get that takeaway, at least not all of them, right? A minority of them may come away feeling like that. And that leads me to this video that I want to react to and talk about, featuring swing state voters from Wisconsin who are going to react to Trump's speech. And for the most part, Trump gets pretty solid reviews, and he actually is going to flip some voters from his RNC speech and convince them that, hey, I'm the right guy to lead this country, okay? Which is something that MSNBC and Joy Reid and the liberal media, they probably hate to see, right? They don't want to see what some of these voters said about Trump during this reaction after the speech. So without further ado, let's get into it.
13 Wisconsinites we watched the convention speech of Donald Trump with. I want to tell you, they're very nice people, and they're also very interested people, because of this group, 11 of the 13 still haven't decided who they're going to vote for president in November. 2 of them have decided. This gentleman right here, Kevin, for Donald Trump, he knows that already. This woman here, Paula, for Joe Biden, or the Democrat who might eventually take his place, she knows that already. Right. But what I want to ask you all first at this point, all 13 of you, what you thought of the speech, not a yes or no answer, if you thought it was good or not good. I want you to give a letter grade to it like you're in school. So I'm going to start here with you. What letter grade do you give that speech?
B.
C.
B.
C.
D.
D.
A. C.
B.
B.
C.
A.
B.
So B and
Yeah, so no Fs, right? No Fs, okay, which I believe that's what Joy Reid would have given Trump, right? Considering how she thinks that Trump's speech is a sign of cognitive decline, which is not at all. Again, Joe Biden could not get up there for an hour and 30 minutes. You can criticize the speech for being long, but Joe Biden could not give an hour and 30-minute speech the way that Trump just did. So again, what we seem to have here is mostly Bs with 1 D, I think 1 A. So that probably is going to put you in the B range, right? For the most part. A couple Cs, but mostly Bs.
and C seem to be the most prevalent grades. I'm going to start with you, Kevin and Dawn, married couple right here. You are both still undecided about who you will vote for. Tell me what the most important thing you thought about when you watched the speech.
I was listening to his tone of voice, to his way of speaking and encouraging us and bringing unity to the country and those individuals that might be outside of the Republican Party.
And what grade did you give it again?
B.
Dawn, what grade did you give it again?
I gave it a C.
And what did you think of the speech?
I thought the beginning was really good. I was looking for unity, speaking outside of the Republican Party. And I thought I heard we a lot and not so much about himself.
Kevin, you're supporting Donald Trump. You've already said that. You gave the grade of?
A B.
And what did you think of the speech?
I thought it was too long. I think it started off slow, but as it progressed, I believe it got a lot better.
Yeah, so I think I agree with the criticism that it was too long, okay, in the sense that, you know, in some cases, you got to be concise, right? I get it at a rally if you just want to, you know, tell jokes, tell stories. You know, if you want to go on and on at a rally, I totally get that, right? That is what rallies are for. But I think at the RNC, it would have helped if Trump would have kept the speech to 30 minutes, an hour max. Okay, I think that definitely would have helped, because what you really want to do is you want to have people understand exactly how you feel following the assassination, right? Your feelings. And then also you want to lead them into the future when it comes to what you're going to do in order to bring the country together and your policies. Okay, and all that could have been explained in probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour at most. But let's say that Trump gave a 30-minute speech. If it was super concise, super on point, the mainstream liberal media would be saying, well, Trump only gave a speech for 30 minutes. That means he can't talk that long. It's past his bedtime. He wanted to go to bed. He half-assed the speech. This is what they would have said. So it's really damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? If he gets up there for an hour and 30 minutes, well, he talked too long. He was rambling. If he does it for 15 to 30 minutes, well, he's showing that he really isn't cut out to give long speeches or to be up that long, right? This is what they would have said. So it is what it is.
Lena, you gave what grade?
A C.
A C. And Lena and Rich are also married right here.
Yes.
Why'd you give it a C?
Because his rhetoric hasn't changed about the election, 2020 election, and I'm really concerned that we're going to have another issue depending on who wins. So, I'm just really praying that if Trump wins, the guardrails of democracy will hold.
Yeah, so what we have here is a low-key NPC, right? Anybody that comes up here and start talking about the 2024 election and democracy, it's like, yeah, you are a CNN viewer, right? Because if you're paying attention, the Democrats are about to show you how much they have zero regards for the so-called guardrails of democracy, especially in their own party, right? If they staged this coup against Joe Biden successfully, they're going to show you at the convention that, yeah, they don't give a damn about democracy, okay? So, again, anybody that is talking about democracy, okay, when it comes to the 2024 election and how you have to vote for Biden and you're afraid of Trump because of democracy, NPC, right? Not really paying attention.
Rich, what grade did you give it?
So I gave his speech a D.
Tell me why.
It started out great, but then he went into mistruths and grievances and attacks, and it just totally contradicted itself in terms of what he wanted to achieve with unity.
Paul, the grade you gave it?
D.
And you're supporting Biden?
Yes.
Or whoever takes his place if that happens.
Yes.
What did you think about it?
I do believe he started off with a pretty good tone for him. I thought it was good, but then he lapsed back into the Donald Trump of old.
Okay, up there in the corner, Robin and Kirsten, mother and daughter. The grade you gave it?
I gave it an A.
And why'd you give it an A?
The thing I was looking for was a change, and I felt I heard that change in his voice. I was looking for his discussion on getting unity together in the country, as well as the border control and inflation.
Kirsten, what grade did you give it?
C.
And why?
It started off strong, just like some other people have said, but the same old thing. It went from him probably just reading the teleprompter and actually reciting the speech into his whole song and dance of just putting his own spin on things, and that's where I feel like a lot of his points get lost.
Gary and Nancy, you're a married couple too.
Yes.
You gave it what grade, Gary?
I gave it a B.
B. Good first name, by the way, Gary. Why B?
He went into some negativity. I was expecting much more negativity, but he did go a little bit of negativity and also some exaggerated statistics and exaggerated goals of getting us to #1 in the world as far as schools go and stuff. Those are just unrealistic.
Okay, Nancy, what grade did you give it?
I gave it a B. I thought it was not negative on women, which I was sort of expecting. I thought his tone was pleasant and something that, as a leader, that maybe I would be proud to have him as a leader with his more relaxed tone.
Susan, what grade did you give it?
A C.
And why did you say C?
Well, I was led to believe that there would be a change in his approach to people, and I don't feel that he met those expectations like others. I thought he started out strong and then went downhill.
Right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. People that are concerned about, well, his rhetoric hasn't changed. It's like, okay, well, what do you want him to do? Just not attack Democrats at all, right? I think that Trump's criticisms of Democrats are fair, okay? Now, I think the Democrats' criticisms of Trump are extremely over the top. But Trump could have went a lot harder. He did not go that hard at the Democrats. He didn't go as hard as he usually goes. And a lot of these people probably don't watch that many Trump speeches because MSNBC and the liberal media, they don't air Trump speeches. So they don't really understand that Trump usually attacks Democrats a lot more. He really kind of sustained from attacking Democrats too much.
And Barb, you're a married couple too. Ray, you gave it what grade?
I gave it an A.
And why'd you give it an A?
Because it's Donald Trump. He was who he always has been. And even though with the incident that happened Saturday, he still came out as himself.
Barb, what grade did you give it?
I gave it a B.
And why did you give it a B?
I gave it a B because, like so many people said, he started out good, strong, grateful, thankful, and then into bragging.
Have any of you changed your mind? 11 of you were undecided. Any of those 11 made a decision based on this speech, or is it still the same?
I think I'm more decided.
And what have you decided?
I've decided that I will support Trump.
Anyone else make a decision yet?
I have. I've made a decision to support him.
So 2 of our 11. Anyone else?
Aye.
The 2 of you.
Trump.
Trump. So 4 of our 11. You going to watch Biden in 5 weeks?
Oh, yes.
Give his speech?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure talking to all of you. I will tell you.
If Biden gives the speech, right? If he actually is still the candidate, the nominee at that point. But again, you have 4 of 11 people flipping, right? You already had a guy there that already was supporting Trump. So, I mean, I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was terrible. I thought it was pretty solid. If you're flipping people with a speech, I think that that's pretty damn good, right? To be quite honest with you. And apparently that's what Trump did with his RNC speech. I think that for the most part, a majority of the remarks were high. They were good, reviews of the speech. Again, there's always some criticisms. But I think, again, the biggest thing is just conciseness and, trying to make sure the speeches don't get too long. That's something that's easily fixed, but at the same time, that's not really Trump's style, right? So I'm not sure if it's something that he'll ever fix. But again, I think most of the criticisms are things that, again, aren't really that big of a deal, right? Nobody is really concerned about the policy or what Trump's agenda is. They're not talking about Project 2025 or any other stuff that the mainstream liberal media is talking about. So I think overall that is a good sign. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.